Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be covering Janal. Now her first full appearance and her death occurred in Green Lantern, issue number 28 of October in 2017. So seeing that she's a brand new character, a lot of her backstory is not explained and her statistics are not fully known. But we do know that she's a Kryptonian colonist that has blue eyes and black hair. Janal lived in a timeline that's 10 billion years in the past. And not only was she a Kryptonian, but she was one of the very first 7 Green Lanterns. And as such, she would have all the powers of a typical Green Lantern, being able to create energy constructs, force fields, project energy, and to fly. Despite the fact that she was a Kryptonian, we have no evidence so far that she was ever powered under a yellow sun, and so therefore she had typical humanoid physiology. But despite not having any genetic superpowers like other Kryptonians that we know, she definitely has an indomitable will and an extremely strong faith in their god, which the Kryptonians call Rael. Matter of fact, her family name actually means faith. Now, Janal is portrayed as one of the leaders of the very first colonization mission from the planet Krypton. During their journey, they came across what they called an unknown star type, being a purple sun, and this somehow immobilized their ship and destroyed their communications with their home planet. Despite this, they made it to the closest planet, and she and the other colonists set up shop trying to repair their ship. The planet was a very harsh one, and keep in mind that the Kryptonians weren't superpowered. They had no yellow sun around. One day in the course of them repairing their ship, a deadly dust storm came up, and Janal, acting off of what she claims to be inspiration from Rael, encourages everyone to not go back to the ship. They held shop in their camp, and they ended up surviving. And this was all lucky for them because their ship was actually destroyed by a huge boulder. It's at this point that she's cheered as a hero by the other colonists, and the Green Lantern ring finds her, telling her that she has ability to overcome great fear. It's also at this point that the ring tells her there's a crisis in the universe and that she's needed. From there, the ring whisks her away and takes her to a planet around Sol 3, which is at the center of the universe. There she's met by several other Green Lanterns, 2 of which being modern-day Green Lanterns, Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. They were just stuck in the past from doing battle with Volthoom. The other 6 Lanterns were just getting their rings for the first time also, and Janal, along with these 6 other new recruits, are the very first 7 Green Lanterns. The other first Lanterns that she ended up meeting on this planet was the green-skilled Kaja Dox of Yad Kalu, there was the robotic Brill of Grenda, and then there was a brown-skinned humanoid woman with dreadlocks, and her name was Aletha of Gattaca, which was actually the 3rd world. There was also a being Zakran Zaran of Mars, as well as Colleen, a cosmic plant elemental. And the last but not least of these beings that she met was the ferocious and cat-like looking Tyranner of the planet Tamaran. When they're all gathered there on the planet is when Rami the Guardian makes his appearance to them. Now this kind of floored me because it puts into perspective how old Rami really is. This is 10 billion years in the past, and the modern day Lanterns Baz and Cruz, which were stuck in the past, actually stated that they look at him as a mentor and didn't realize how old he was. But anyway, Rami goes on to explain how he created the Green Lantern rings and that they were the first recruits. Rami sent these prototype rings out as almost a cry for help because Volthoom was in the process of attacking the Science Citadel on the planet Maltus. The first Lantern being enraged because they were keeping his travel lantern from him, Rami knew that it was only a matter of time before he broke through if he didn't get some backup. Now these new Lantern recruits were all confused and dazed. None of them trusted each other, and despite the fact that Cruz and Baz were trying to rein them in, they all ended up fighting for possession of the rings. Seeing the chaos and confusion that had broken out, Janal actually gets the epiphany that she says is from Rael that she needs to take their rings, and she apologizes for what she's about to do. At this point, her ring begins to power up, and her willpower is stated as continually rising. She's feeding off of the emotions of her crew being lost and abandoned, and she thinks that she needs to take everyone's rings to take back to her people. Her display of power is impressive, and it catches everyone's attention and they stop fighting. But these prototype rings have no safeguards. They're brand new. And so her being a rookie user quickly gets out of control and doesn't know how to rein it in. The willpower that's energizing her ring just keeps rising. It goes from 200% to 300% to 500%. Before you know it, it's overloaded and she's overwhelmed with energy that she can't handle, literally being ripped apart in a green explosion. As unfortunate as this is for the very first Kryptonian Lantern, it shocks the rest of the recruits back to their senses, and they finally end up focusing and accepting training from Baz and Cruz, which will definitely be needed for any chance to beat Volthoom. Now, for her powers and abilities and her brief influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Janal a rating of 5, which is an enigmatic rating. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe to The New Sage.